New glasses, new shirt, new location. Ooh, the wind. Now that the dust has settled, I think I can finally talk about United Flight 3411. And the first thing I want to share is the 3 reasons why that will never happen to me. Number 1, greed. The airline offers money, I pretty much always take the money. Number 2, cowardice. When security comes, it's time to go. I mean, fighting law enforcement may feel like the right thing to do, but it usually doesn't work out well for people. And there's a lot of other videos on YouTube that kind of corroborate that thought. But there is an exception to that, and that's when a fat corporation with serious public image problems is involved. Which leads back to the first thing, but this time there's a whole lot more of it. There's usually some downside to it. Jail time, injury, beatings, and the like. That's not going to make the cut. It's better just to sue them later. At least that's what people tell me. And the third reason is never rely on people around you to take a stand, offer to help, or do anything useful when bad stuff happens. Except for film it, of course, because they'll totally do that. They just want to blow up their Instagram account, Facebook account, video views. The real problem is it isn't just United, and it's not just random or infrequent beatings. Airlines do evil things to passengers all the time. It's in a little thing called the Contract of Carriage. That's the document you never read, but that you agree to whenever you buy an airline ticket. It's, what gives them such broad latitude to legally impose their will on you. Right here. See? It's right here in the fine print. And as Gandhi said, beatings will continue until morale improves. Here's just a few examples. There's the pigpen clause. If you smell bad, they can kick you off. There's the fat shaming clause. If you don't fit in their inadequate, ridiculously small-sized seats, they can kick you off. There's the catch-all clause. If you're disruptive or offensive, they can kick you off. The especially worrisome part about that is considering how little it takes to offend some people. I'm pretty sure you could eat a ham sandwich and offend someone. I'm pretty sure you could also not eat a ham sandwich and offend someone. It's kind of a catch-22. But my favorite is the one that they repeat just before takeoff, that it's against the law to not comply with crew member instructions, which means the minute they asked him to leave, Mr. Dow was legally obligated to comply. Whether he paid or not, whether he was seated or not, really doesn't matter. I mean, it matters if you're into equity and justice and stuff like that and actually getting what you pay for. But that's the problem. You already agreed that getting kicked off the plane was okay. You just don't realize that you agreed that it's okay for them to kick you off the plane. I guess the you have to obey crew member instructions makes sense, sort of, because who wants to be aboard a plane where people are going crazy? But it also makes me wonder, what if you had like a mafioso flight attendant who handed you a gun and said, yo, go whack the guy in 23D? I mean, I don't want to pay the fine. Bit of a catch-22. You would think this kind of PR debacle would have immediate, lasting, permanent effects on all the airlines. But you'd probably be wrong. Airlines love losing millions of dollars. Southwest did post that they're no longer going to overbook. Yay! Wait, that means I can't get money for being bumped anymore. Boo! But, no baggage fees, no flight change fees. Southwest is, in my humble and totally unpaid opinion, one of the best airlines around. But, nobody's perfect. There was also that time when they booted a woman off the plane for not wearing underwear underneath her shorts. I'm not even sure how you figure that out, unless, of course, you have X-ray vision or access to those creepy TSA full-body scans. Sorry, man, we're going to need proof that you're actually wearing underwear. Ding! I've heard Virgin America will let you get on just wearing underwear. I just heard that. Don't quote me. Actually, I read an article. I'm pretty sure you can. But that could also be interpreted as a great reason to not fly Virgin America. Recently, Delta kicked off a man for peeing during a 30-minute runway delay before takeoff. Maybe he forgot to ask, may I? Now, I'm not sure how many of these things are issues with FAA regulations versus just the airline being annoying, but couldn't we have a rule that says if you go to the bathroom during takeoff or landing, the airline is not responsible for what happens to you in there, and you have to clean up your mess when it's over? Maybe flotation devices that double as adult diapers, or just install seatbelts on the toilet. I mean, would work for me. Of course, then you'd have people that ride in there the entire flight. I can't get up. The fasten seatbelt sign is on. It's a good thing I brought my iPad, or a good book. People don't read books on the toilet anymore. It's mostly just iPads, I think. Am I the only one? I don't think so. JetBlue's CEO very quick to criticize United's MMA-style reaccommodation procedures, but was quick to forget his own mini runway Guantanamo back in 2011 when his company kept 10 aircraft full of people trapped on the runway for up to 11 hours, while the planes just sat there. CEOs who throw stones should not live in glass airplanes. There's something to be learned there. Now we're going to come to the event itself. For all those who claim that the airport security was unusually rough, I'm gonna guess you've never worked as a security guard or even tried restraining an adult male. You probably give up when a toddler fights you over who gets the last tater tot. I never give up that fight. Physically forcing a grown person is not something that it's really easy to be in control of. Trust me, I know. I have 5 brothers and we were constantly physically controlling each other. You pull, they pull, and then at some unpredictable moment, someone can't hold out anymore and goes flying. I don't think banging his face into the armrest was really a part of the plan. And, I mean, if overdoing it was the order of the day, why didn't they just come in and tase him or start punching him? I'm not saying what happened was right, because, like I said in the beginning, airlines do evil things to people all the time, and that's not making an excuse. It's just saying it's unfortunately probably legal to beat you up and drag you off a plane. And then for all those of you who are very dramatic about him being dragged out, let's be reasonable. The damage is done, you can't take it back. You have to get him out for medical treatment. And have you been on a plane? I mean, he didn't seem capable of walking, and you really don't want a fireman carry him out. So, yes, I wouldn't want to be dragged off a plane. I'm pretty sure neither would you. But I'd rather be dragged off to medical attention than left laying there if the altercation had, say, resulted in a subdural hematoma. Another part that bugs me a little bit is Mr. Dow is being lauded as some kind of hero. And I think like everyone else on the plane, he just wanted someone else to get booted off, not him. But heroism is normally something selfless, like volunteering to take his place and leave the plane. Not selfish like, refusing to get off. That being said, if him standing up to the man causes real changes in airline and FAA regulations, I am all for it. But I really doubt that this one act alone is going to fundamentally alter contracts of carriage. Just imagine spending hours on a flight next to someone who's triggering your gag reflex, or, someone who's really loud and offensive. At that point, most passengers will be glad that there's a contract of carriage allowing the airline to give people the boot. If it was anything like my high school gym class, though, where everyone did push-ups if anybody acted out, all United had to do was say, well, until this randomly selected person gets off the plane, we're going to stay put. Give it a few hours and the same people who were horrified and disgusted at Mr. Dow's treatment would probably have been reaccommodating him themselves. That's kind of a negative way to look at people, but I think that's kind of the way people roll. At least United says they'll no longer be physically removing people from flights. So if you want to fly for free, all you have to do is walk on board and pick a seat. Of course, there might be some federal agents waiting for you when you deplane. Also in the news, United has agreed to pay Mr. Dow a heretofore undisclosed settlement amount, which is precisely $2.5 bajillion. Cash. What do people do with that kind of money? Oh, that's what they do. I just want to point out one last thing. Settlement, though it has the subtle aroma of guilt, doesn't necessarily equate to it. It's most likely that the United lawyers got together and said, we've lost a ton of money on this, and if we fight it, we'll probably just get more bad press and lose even more money. So let's settle. Maybe they'd have won, maybe they'd have lost, but the whole thing was such a PR nightmare for them, I think they just wanted to put it behind them and get back to doing what they do best. Killing people's Guinness Book of World Prize record-holding giant rabbits. That's for real.